Hi, Jess.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
Good.
Hey, Jess.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
Great.
We're good, Jess.
Outstanding.
Enjoy Sunday.
Yeah, we great.
Very good, very good.
I love that. Hold on. Let me make sure this is live. I believe it is.
Looks like we're live.
Yeah, it's showing live, but the link's not popping up in the chat, right? So I'm just trying to make sure it actually posted.
Very good.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we're good. All right, thanks for that. Thanks for checking that for me. So look, y'all, let me tell y'all something, okay? Let me tell y'all something, all right? These trades been popping. They have just been beautiful in every way. And I just love it so much because they've been so perfect, okay? How many people made money this week? I just need, because if you didn't make money, you was just sleeping on yourself, because in all honesty, this week was spectacular, great, omnipotent, everything above and beyond, okay? So first things first, we are going to go into our psychology call because I will not be pushing that off another week. But I do just want to recap, because I told you guys last Sunday that I want to go over, sorry, you guys, this is Michael's computer. Okay. I wanted to go over entries with you guys as they're happening, because the whole goal, like, if you just see these setups and you're not placing them or taking advantage of them, you are really doing a disservice to yourself, and your goals will not be met like that. Okay. We are not having analysis paralysis. Okay. Execution is key. And it is the only way you all will be getting to reach your goals. All right. The chat, Truth made money, Eden, US 30 paid, GU. Okay, great. So good. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do charts first, and then I'm going to do psychology call at the end of the call. I kind of feel like regardless, in the psychology call that I was going to do, it was going to go over an hour anyway. So we're going to make it actually a 2-part call. So we're going to start it tonight, and then we're going to finish it going into next week. All right. But definitely take notes. And as y'all know, all of these live streams post to YouTube. I need you guys to make sure that in addition to the actual setup that you guys see me do, that you guys are constantly, for you guys that's in the course, making sure you analyze all of your pairs thoroughly and making sure you're executing and applying what I teach on Sunday night calls, applying them across the board, because the concept is all the same. Everything is the same when it comes to trading. Like, well, not everything, but the way you're being taught to approach the market is applicable on all of your pairs. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Let me share. Hold on one second. You know, it's just like, wow. Like, I'm talking about a greatness, okay? Greatness was in the market this week. All right, so we talk about often, oh, you guys can't see my screen. Hold on, share, come on, I just shared. Can y'all see?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Yes.
You know.
Anybody that's brand new, I want to say that, like, some of this stuff does take time to really understand. I cannot hold up the Sunday calls and teach just basics on these calls, because really trading is like, you got to learn the ABCs and I'll teach you the words, but I can't go back and not teach words. I can't go back and break down the alphabet, because it's literally clear as day, and also it's in your course, and it's the information even outside of your course in the basics part is readily available everywhere in life. Like the basics, I cannot do, okay? And I'm only saying that because I read some people's like comments on the YouTube. Somebody said, bruh, I don't understand nothing Jessica be talking about. And I'm like, okay, clearly you're new, but like, it is a process, and you're not just gonna get it just by hopping on one call. Like this really takes consistency. And if my babies in Africa can get it without even paying for the course and just constantly hopping on and studying Sunday night calls, then I know for sure you guys can get it, okay? All right, so this is where we left off on Sunday night call last week, all right? We were here. And remember, I talked about how we did not have any, at this point, we didn't have any exhaustion candles on the bottom. We had very choppy candles. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour. Now, as you guys know, when I go to the 1 hour, it looks like a whole bunch of stuff on top of each other. So bear with me, but I'm gonna just kind of show you guys what annotation, the vicinity, and what I'm talking about. I don't want to delete anything because it's like very key stuff that I traded over the week. And I'm gonna go back and delete some of it, but I want y'all to kind of follow me first. Also, feel free to revisit the weeks prior to videos, like last week, the week before that, really even the week before that, because the two analysis that I did where I had broken down that sell on GU where we were breaking out of that divergence, and then I did the higher time frame perspective, like literally all of that is what this is, okay? So last week we were here and I talked about we didn't have any real wick exhaustion right here. You see this? And so when we were in this zone, I said, you know, typically when we come to a zone or something of that sort, we're looking to just push off immediately from that point. So we didn't even have a fib drawn at that point, nothing, because we didn't really have confirmation for anything yet. We didn't have any higher high, like nothing. It was just like, okay, price was here. But remember I told you guys at that point, because we didn't have any wick exhaustion here, I could see price pushing to this point here. And I wanted to see how far in this zone price was going to go before pushing away. The reason was because, and this literally is going to come from your experience, but you guys see that I'm showing you this in real lifetime. Like last week, nothing that happened over the week happened prior to Sunday. You see what I'm saying? So like, I want you guys to be able to see this stuff so that you guys are able to react like I do, and you guys are able to trade like I do, just from like paying attention to what's happening, okay? Because there are certain things in trading that will be anomalies where you'll have like, okay, why didn't it just bounce away from this zone like it did over here, where every time we came to this zone, we immediately pushed away? Does that make sense? So this same blue zone, over here, we pushed away, we pushed away, we pushed away. Right here, why did Jessica say, okay, don't just hop in a buy right here because we could sell some more? The reason being is because of paying attention. Remember, I talk about trade what you see, not what you think. So it's ultimately paying attention to that structure and being able to react to what you see happening in real life time. So right here, even though we came to a zone, and typically anytime you reach a level of support, right, we're looking for buys because a support is a floor. So in like putting some basics in there, support is the floor, resistance is ceiling. Everybody should know this at this point, but again, if you don't, that's what that is. All right, so here supports the floor. We weren't just looking for a push up here because again, we had those short choppy candles. All right, if you look left, you see here we have short choppy candles. If you look left, you see exhaustion. Like every time price came and it came to this area, we had big candles off of this area. Make sense? Y'all with me so far?
Yes, we are.
Remember last week I said I wanted to see how price, let me go to 15 minutes. I wanted to see how price was going to react on that area to see if we push all the way down to test this previous price as resistance. See if it tests that as support before pushing away. Now, again, we all know, even when it comes to zones, a zone is a vicinity of price, meaning that in this zone, price can push anywhere inside of that zone that it chooses to, but you're paying attention to your past price in order to identify where you're going in the future. So that past price led me to the fact that, okay, even though this isn't resistance as in multiple touches of like something, and somebody asked me, I think it was 2 calls ago, where somebody had asked, just why did you only have this one level of resistance or this 1 point? It was actually, I don't know, I don't remember the question in all out, but it was a guy, and he had asked me about, it was some level of support that I hit your zone on, and he was like, why did you just use that 1 point? And so that's what I mean by being able to understand just based off of ultimately your experience in the market is what's going to get you to the point where you understand how the market is reacting and how you're becoming familiarized with your craft, basically. Okay. All right. So here we test this level of resistance. We test it as support. Now, our confirmation, we literally got it immediately that night. So we had shifted off a little bit. And remember, at that point, we didn't have a fib on this or anything, because we could not draw a fib on it at that point because we had not descent. We didn't have a stopping point. Remember, when we draw our fibs, you have to have a point A and a point B to identify that. At that point, we had no point B because price was still falling. It wasn't until we started to have this pullback here that now identified this as a B structure. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So we have our point
Yes.
A, our point B. Remember, when we're drawing our structure, 2 points validate our trend line. All right. So we have 0.1, 0.2, price literally broke, retested this. This was around like, this was literally that night. And then it came to test the previous resistance that we had here as support. Now, after we had a point B, as you guys see, no matter what time frame you're trading on, okay, in regards to all of your structure, this goes to your second assignment. In regards to all of your structure, if you are reading your structure correctly, okay, it will always play out because structure is structure. What I mean by that is the higher time frame, the same way you draw a fib on a higher time frame is the same way you draw your fib on your minor structure. Your minor structure, though, is making up your overall structure. So here, this minor structure cell is a pullback on your higher time frame. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
On these Sunday night calls, when I'm calling out the right now money, even though we had the analysis, okay, we know price is going up, right, for the week. That's a long-term trade. But remember that when we're on these Sunday night calls, I'm giving out what is the right now money, what's about to happen between today, tomorrow, Tuesday, so forth and so on. Like, how can you execute right now? All right. And I did that just over the course of time because you guys can follow way back on my YouTube videos where I used to give like the overall structure and stuff like that. But a lot of people would get hung up on, oh, well, this played out, but it played out later in the week, or entries or so forth and so on. Just go study them. Y'all will see the videos. But it's strictly because I know that sometimes there are people in other countries and stuff like that that are literally taking these trades like live as we're on these calls and stuff. So I want to, y'all know this is like my give back day to the world. So I want people to capitalize as much as possible. That's what I'm here for. That's what this is here for, so forth and so on. Okay. So we have this break retest. As you see, it followed the rules of Fibonacci. We end up at our negative 61.8. Now, as far as taking this buy was based off of, again, this testing as support, this support testing as resistance. Now your entry, remember I told you I was going to highlight the yellow circles for you guys on every entry opportunity you could have taken. So even last time or last call, we talked about over the course of time, there will be some people that are extremely experienced. There will be some people that are just starting off. People that are just starting off, do not use the test, break, and retest for your entries. Only use your trend line, break, and retest because they're more clear and able to, like, you know, your structure is there. I don't teach on the 5 minute because, again, we all talk about how, or I've talked about multiple times, how minor structure can easily be broken. Anytime you see me draw anything in like purple, I use my minor structure as my black lines, and purple like for my minor structure. But this could have been an entry opportunity for an experienced person here on this, but the main thing I want you guys to look at going on the major is just, we have this divergence here, as well as, again, we were looking for these retests here, and then we're at the bottom of this zone. So in your course, you have that trend line break and retest assignment where you have the break and retest of your major, break and retest of your minor. You could use that whole same concept is applicable to literally what this is right here. So this is where, if you haven't been trading for a long time and you're just not getting a trading or whatever the case may be, this is where you would have entered here. If you're experienced, you could have entered here just based off of understanding your structure. Okay, this is one of the entries that I had posted on my Instagram, on one of those trades that I had taken on Instagram. This was this, but if you're not that experienced, again, your entry would have been here. So you see, we have this trend line coming from the top. Remember, you have 0.1, 0.2 break away here. Now, either one of these could have been your entry, but the reason that this is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Your confirmation, you have more confirmation because you have a lot of this wick exhaustion here, and you see we closed above. Does that make sense? So then we already know we're looking for buys, right? And then we're also at the top of this now zone. All right, is everybody following me?
Yes, definitely following.
Okay,
I got a question,
yes.
but it's not a right now question because the question is about current price. I'm just driving right now. I'm on the way to DJ, so I'm probably not going to be on the car later. But the trade that you're going over right now on a higher time frame, I see a test break and retest red box, green box, red box, blue box on the trade you're going over right now. Is it crazy to say that trade and how the market repeats itself, that exact trade you're going over is happening right now with current price? That's probably a question too far to answer.
Well, I mean, yeah, history repeats itself, but what are you saying that's happened?
The test, break and retest on the trade that you're going over on that whole structure.
What is the retest that you're talking about?
It hasn't retested yet. It's the trade that you were just going over.
Oh, over here. Okay.
Where that blue bar pattern is, where you have resistance, where you have divergence.
Here.
Yeah. So the top of that is your green box. You go over to the right, it breaks. No. Zoom out. Okay, to the left.
Here?
No, over to the left. The
Here?
high before that. Yeah, that's your green box.
Yes. So that would have been, that would have been your green, red, blue.
That's happening. I see that happening right now with current price. The exact trade you just broke down, even when you went to minor structure, I see that mirroring itself. And I have a bar pattern, and it lays just exactly like that. If you would do a bar pattern and do that whole structure and then move it over to what current price is, it matches. But I'm driving right now. I just want to, like, later on when we watch the car, when you go over price at the end, I just want to ask this question.
Okay. Current price is kind of still forming, so I don't want to be too jumpy on it. Yeah.
I just see that
some
green box and the red box, so I was waiting on the blue box.
Okay, got you. Okay, well, yeah, current price is still somewhat forming though. So you mean coming down to this point right here?
Exactly.
Okay.
Just going over the trade that you just going over, I see that happening with this trade.
Okay, got you. Okay, got it. Let me see. You want to be aware of these highs to the left up here though. And this higher zone that's here first though, before you have it going to this.
Yeah, I got a zone in the middle for a middle point.
Okay, got you. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going over this so I don't lose my
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back and watch it. Watch it on the
Okay. No worries. All right. So then this would have been your second entry, guys. On this structure for this after, again, Remember where we left off last week was we need our confirmations. Our confirmations are key for everything, you guys. Like even me and as experienced as I am, and I'm going to talk about this in the psychology part, no matter how experienced I am, I still don't do anything without my confirmations. Like there will be trades where it's like, you're like, you just know, but you still have multiple confirmations that add up to that. Like you have confirmations adding up to what it is that you know. Does that make sense? Okay. So
Hey,
this
Jess,
second, yes.
sorry for interrupting. I'm looking at the yellow entry you have after the break and retest of the trend line. Yeah, that right there. You said that would be in the second entry, right? What about the one before that? Yeah, this right there.
Yeah.
That been an entry as well.
That means that you didn't listen to nothing I just said because I just went over
I
this.
just not too long. I just not too long hop on.
You said what?
I not too long just hop on the call. That is asking.
Okay, yeah. So I just went over that. I said that this could have been an entry, but the thing about it is like right here, just based off this entry, you have this complete, like this would have been the more confirmed entry. The reason being is because you have all of this wick exhaustion pushing here, plus a big bearish candle here. It wasn't until you had this exhaustion here to confirm that, okay, we're respecting this trend line that is here. So when we have candles, right, we all know that news shifts the markets, right? And oftentimes when we have these news candles, again, ultimately, what news does is literally play out what's supposed to happen in the first place. But when you have these news candles, most often than not, they're wick candles, right? So that's where you have like, okay, this pushed down, but where did price respect? So you see, we respect it after we close, we respect it above this trend line. So we're respecting this trend line, right? So your more confirmed entry would be here just because as this is forming, if I use the bars pattern on this, let me just show you what I'm talking about. As I use the bars pattern on this, you don't know that this trend line is not just about to break through right here because of what has happened here. So this is one where it's like, you would need like, does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys?
Following.
Okay. So, okay. Let me go back to my tab. Yes. Okay. So back over here. Your more confirmed entry would have been here again, just because you have that close above this. All right. Now, also, no matter what, and I'm saying this also, Shakita, I'm not calling you out, but 2 people messaged me over the weekend was like, hey, like I took a buy on GU, but it's been consolidating. Like, you know, should I have entered at a different place or like, why, like basically it took forever for my trade to play out. Remember, guys, we cannot control consolidation. What we can control is like literally our approach to the market. So like even this, like this was one of my entries. I stayed in this, and this one right here, I stayed in it. So that, remember, I had posted those 3 entries on that GU, the first one. And I'm gonna talk about the first one and the second one because there are 2 entry opportunities. Like Thursday led to a TP overall, right? And then Friday, NFP led to an entirely different, well, the second TP for that structure on the charts. Does that make sense? Y'all with me? I don't even know how many people are on Instagram and was following the story, but I just wanted to break it down for the people that was. All right. So here we're sitting on the high of this fib structure here. All right. Now, your minor structure trade that is inside of this before, remember, we don't have any higher high at this point that we're in this trade. Does that make sense? Remember when we were left last week when I said this isn't a new high point, so we're not drawing a fib on this structure yet? Remember that, you guys?
Yes.
All right, so at that point, after we have this divergence, we have this second break and retest, your fib structure is this. Does that make sense? So you have your point A, your 100 to point B, your 0. That wick is what made that structure. And then this led to your -27 before dropping. Does everybody see that structure inside of the overall structure?
Yes.
Crystal clear.
Okay, and this is literally going in alignment with your last call, because remember, we didn't have the breakout until Thursday and Friday. So as I'm teaching you how to trade the overall trade, right? I want you guys to be able to take advantage of these consolidating moves, because in that, remember, this sell right here was 40 pips alone. But remember, as a day trader, you want to take advantage of as much price as you can. So this right here, we have 60 pips from literally this, but this is inside of, remember, this consolidating structure. Does that make sense? Because we didn't have no breakouts at that point. And we also, remember, at this point, we don't know when the market's going to break out. We're only trading what we see, not what we think. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Do you think like putting a box over the actual consolidation so people can see like this whole consolidation so they can see what you're talking about? Because I
Yeah.
don't think people are getting it.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So this is all consolidation. Does that make sense? We're moving sideways in the market. We're moving sideways in the market, even though we have buys and sells that can be taken advantage of in the grand scheme of things, right? But in this, remember, as people are trading, the main thing in trading is some people try to hit 120, 130, 300 pips in one trade. And it's not going to always happen like that, because you do not control how the market moves. We have uptrends, downtrends, and consolidation. That's how the market moves. So we move up, we move down, and we move sideways. Make sense? So in this sideways movement, right? In this sideways movement, just like in your second assignment, we have uptrends and downtrends in this sideways movement that we can take advantage of, but they are minor structure movements. So where this is going to be, and this, what you will have to do is, as you guys are kind of gathering your trading personality, and what I mean by that is identifying whether you're going to be a swing trader, a intraday trader, or a scalper. As you're gathering that trading personality, right? You are going to have to identify what works best for you based off of your personality. I'm not the type that's about to be sitting in trades for 2 weeks. And I'm also not the type that's literally about to go 100 pips in profit and give it all the way back to the market. Because again, let's say you took a sell here. I mean, let's say you took a sell here, you held it and you're like, oh, I think this is going to go further. And then the market pushes all the way back up here. It's like, what are you doing? You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand these pivotal points, and these pivotal points are ultimately nothing but your structure, which is why your second assignment is crucial and key to understanding. And that consolidation that we have right here, that Dominic just told me to draw a box around, is the same consolidation structures that I broke down last week. We went in detail with breaking down this consolidation last week. So all of these buys and sells that are in here that you could have taken advantage of. I know it looks like a lot on the chart. Like some people who are brand new, it's probably like, girl, that look like shit, tic-tac-toe, what the hell are you doing? Whatever. But just know that this is your money, okay? And the moment you hone into yourself and really understand this, it's going to be the reason that you ain't never got to work another day in your life. So the goal should be to understand it. All right. But
yeah, DJ was consolidating as well.
Yeah, a lot of pairs were consolidating, which was expected, because I mean, I expected to have the big pushes this week though, just because we had consolidated all last week and we had a big push the week before that. Like typically you kind of just know structure. Like anytime we have a big run, we know that, like, as I talked about this exact same thing last week. So sometimes I feel like I even just be repeating myself, because I talked about this last week when I was like, if you go running, you're not just about to go run a full sprint around a whole track nonstop multiple times. Like at some point you're going to have to stop, take a walk, a rest, whatever. It's the same thing in the market. Okay. So After this structure formation, so again, we have all of these retests that we could have taken advantage of. Even right here, we have this divergence, the break and retest here. I did not take this entry because I was already heavy in over here. But we had a break and retest here. I just put this here so you guys could have seen, oh, this one should be purple too. So you guys could have seen entry opportunities that you guys could have taken advantage of. But that's that. Now, again, in this consolidation, after we hit this -27, we push down. We end up, again, a trend line is nothing more than 0.1, 0.2. Draw the line into the future. We have multiple trend lines we could have taken advantage of, or sell, like this sell structure here. You could have taken advantage of also. And again, they all respect your Fibonacci structure. After we hit the TP on this, we have divergence also going up into this buy. These were highs that could have been drawn on your structure. I deleted it, but just understand, like, this is nothing more than your course though. Okay, so why you seeing me do it? Just go through your course, because this is literally your course, but just in real life practices and principles. Is anybody lost on anything I've done thus far? No? Okay, great. Because I want to wrap this up, because I said that I was going to do 30 minutes of charts and then the other 30 minutes for the psychology call for y'all. But okay, so let me just show y'all how beautiful this was though. So then let me go out a little bit as we break out of this consolidated structure. And you could see a little bit better on the higher time frame, the consolidation that Dominus told me to break down. If you look on a higher time frame, you just see all of this moving sideways. This is literally it before the continuation of your structure. Okay. Now, where we are here, okay, I had this buy that was so perfect, okay, strictly because of this trend line here. Now, this happened on Thursday. This overall buy push up literally happened all night Thursday going into Friday. And then when Friday NFP hit, it just pushed to the higher point. But the TPs that I had put on my Insta story was literally from just the previous structure that's here. Remember, I just drew the minor structure fib, but this is the main fib that's here. Now, remember, it's all consolidation that's making up the pullback. But this is your, hold on one second. Let me scoot to the left so you guys can see it more. So you have your impulse here. All of this consolidation is your pullback, right? But this was the TP that was there. And then as it hit that TP, it didn't do nothing but just did exactly what it needed to do. Like after the news on Friday, we shot up, shot straight back down. Again, news only pushes price where it needs to go for your completion of your structures, okay? The only thing this price did on the news was give us a trend line bounce for this structure that is here. Does everybody see that? And it never broke a structure for the lows of where we were. For this higher, for the higher part of what we're talking about. Remember, you have the minor and then you have the major. Okay. Now, even though we're not talking about overall major, like 4 hours, nothing like that, but like for this structure that we're in, this is what we're looking at. Does everybody see this? Impulse, correction.
Yes.
Correction. All right. After we hit this news, literally, this was just a perfect, like, I'm talking about the most beautiful entry that could have been had, okay? Up into the point of going to literally where we ended on Friday. This happened, so Thursday, we pushed down to here after news, then we just consolidated a little bit Thursday night, then Friday, this was NFP candle, we pushed down a little bit, and then as the continuation of Friday was here, and then as the markets opened, we literally have this, I had price for today, I had it going to this foundation level and then seeing where price went, because I want to make sure before we just call out a sell on this that we don't start to have a form of divergence form. because of the strong impulse that we had. Okay, but a pullback is still there. All right. Now, so this is pretty much like at this foundation level, look to see like how this kind of like maneuvers, whatever the case may be, to see this being that next point. But again, just really wait on your structure, just because again, we have like some divergence that could be forming in this. But what I really want to go over is psychology. I'm about to share my screen for you guys, so that we can go over as much as we can. I have 2 parts to this. Again, it's gonna be a 2-part call, but I'm gonna try to at least get through these first half of these slides for what I have for today. So psychology, boom, we're midweek. I mean, we're mid-year. All right. Oh shoot, why did I say June? I meant to say July. See, I put June because I remember we were supposed to start this 2 weeks ago and we were still in June at the time. So let me just go update that. But we are mid into the year, so welcome everybody. At the beginning of the year, we talked about our goals. I hope everybody's still been writing them down. Y'all know that's a practice that I constantly do, and I think that is something that you should constantly do and implement in your everyday lives, because it's key. Constantly reminding yourself of your goals, where you're going, what it is that you want, how it is that you're going to get there, what your short-term, long-term, all of those things, and constantly repeating them to yourself is what's going to make you ultimately key and successful. All right. Here, I put this here because it's a fact. There's not a person on this call that has not dealt with some form of adversity. All right. Now, I say that to say, because I think that sometimes you can look at other people on social media. You can look at the glitz and glamour, what people have, so forth and so on, and be like, oh, and really just like wonder why your life's not like that, or wonder why you're in the particular situation that you're in, so forth and so on. But I just want to be the first person to tell y'all that everybody goes through something. There is some form of adversity that everybody is facing, but it's your perspective on how you deal with your adversity that's literally going to catapult you to where it is that you're trying to be in life. Okay, so constantly remind yourself of that. Now, again, our life isn't predicated upon anybody else, but I put that because the perspective is key. I particularly know people that constantly speak down on themselves and constantly say, like, it could be something as easy as you drop something on the floor and you're like, dang, I'm so stupid, or damn, I'm dumb, or just stuff that is like you're negatively speaking to yourself. And it's like, you really need to stop that. Okay. So I put right here, the greater the blessing, the greater the battle. The level of battles that you face are an indication of the level of blessing that you stand to receive. All right. Now, I'm going to take that to my own personal journey and just say, like, y'all want to know how depressed I was when I did not win the Olympic trials? Like, I'm talking about your girl was down and out. Like, I'm talking about, I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I was so devastated. Everybody always tells you, like, follow your dreams. I felt like I did everything right. I felt like I didn't cheat on myself. I felt like I ran the extra miles, grinded my ass off. So the disciplined person that y'all see right now in trading is the same disciplined person that I was in boxing. And for me, it was like all of these referees used to be like, oh, you're too pretty to box. All this stuff is like, what did they have to do with anything? If I'm putting in the work, like, why are you like making judgment and stuff like that? Like, I used to be so sad because after I lost in the Olympic trials, I didn't know what to do with my life. Okay. And my parents were like, oh, you didn't graduate from Spelman to just like, what are you going to do? Like, you need a job, you need this, you need that. And I just really like was super sad. Right. But I'll be the first person to tell you that if I did not go through that, there would be no Jessica Trader and there would be no trading. And, you know, a lot of the things that we go through in our lives are the things that lead us to the next things. We just don't see it at the time. So whether it is even all of you guys somehow forming this community with me, I don't know how y'all came across me, you know what I'm saying? But everybody's individual path has led them here to trading. So understanding that you now have access to this way of this way of an avenue, let's say avenue, an avenue and an opportunity of self-made wealth. Like the beautiful thing about trading, I think people just really don't understand. It don't matter your gender. It don't matter your race. Do you know how many like older people, okay, this is a short story, but I'm just gonna bring it back to this. I went to this higher end restaurant in Atlanta where it was a lot of, and I know, okay, race in the South is very, very real. Okay. I'm talking about so much to the fact that when me and Michael moved in our house, we live in Atlanta. Okay. I'm gonna just show y'all something real quick. This is a sidebar and it's sad. It's so sad. But somebody put this on our tree. I don't know if y'all can see this. Y'all see that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Oh, man.
God. And
You
then
gotta be
when
kidding
and
me.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
What the hell?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Oh
The
wow.
blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus.
That is
Now,
that's
I'm
crazy.
playing.
so look at the date of this. June 29th, 2022. We are the only Black people in this neighborhood. Just say that.
Okay, I
And
get it now.
everybody's retired, older people. So they're looking at us like this young girl and this guy, they automatically equate him to be a professional athlete because he's bigger, I guess, whatever. And I guess they just look at me like a housewife. I don't really know, right? But even like me walking Legend one time, right? It was this lady. And even when I remember this same lady, Michael was walking his dog. She looked at him, literally walked to the other side of the street so she didn't have to pass him. And I say that to say, right? Let me not get emotional. It's super sad though, but I say that to say it's like, that's what I love about trading. It's like, I'm super young, but it doesn't matter. I'm Black, but it doesn't matter. I can wear my hair in braids and won't be judged. And that I can make money, as much money as I want to make, and it not be predicated on somebody's view or perspective of me.
Amen.
Somebody broke in my car. All right, just another example. Because it's a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood, the police are there in 2 minutes. I said, why can't you do a fingerprint? They said, oh, it's just going to be too much. Like, those people, I'm pretty sure they're super far. They would have said that to our next door neighbors. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like we're stereotyped nonstop. And it's sad. It's so sad. And I know this psychology call, like, I didn't even mean to get in all this, but what I'm trying to say ultimately is everybody will have a judgment of you, a view of you, will have something to say about you. And when it comes to success, you don't have to climb up no corporate ladder to do this. As long as you have a brain and you work hard, you are going to obtain success. And that's why I love trading. And that's why trading is beautiful to me. Okay.
Makes sense.
That was heavy. It makes me super sad and it makes me want to move. And I've talked about it multiple times with Michael. I hate being here because I feel as though like we just have targets on our back, but then it's like, you also don't want to let people run you out of your neighborhood. But then it's like, when I just think about like Legend, as he gets older, being outside and stuff, it's just like, it's not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Yeah, and you need to feel safe, but it sounds scary.
Yeah, you need a peace of mind with that baby boy. If it was just
Yeah.
you and hubby, it'd be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Definitely pray for that direction.
Yeah, but the thing is like the part that sucks is like we put so much into this home that it's just like, and then it was like it's just a lot. But let's get back to
Jazz, have you ever thought that that may be another test? I understand just think about it. That's your first home.
it could be. That's why I'm not gone. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
could be a test, but still, it's like I also want to like weigh everything and not just say, oh, like it's a test, like let me persevere or whatever, and then something like you just don't know. But it's just like
No, I don't mean like a test and stay to see what happens. I mean like a test as in to say, okay, yeah, you grinded, the both of you grinded, and y'all built this beautiful house. You understand? And now you have legend, but now just think about it, like just you're growing at a consistent rate, and here comes the next level obstacle that you have to overcome. You know, it may have to be like God could be like, okay, well, let me see if you're gonna give this up. No, you're uncomfortable, you know, and trust me that there is greater and there's better, even though that was your first. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely understand. I'm from Texas. And so as far as like, there's just certain areas I wouldn't move to. And I completely understand like being around certain groups of people, how they don't want people that look like you and me over there. And they will make your life uncomfortable. And it's not going to get better. It's not. I mean, if they're hanging nooses on your tree, that's not going to get better.
And unfortunately, it's always the older people because they're set in tradition. And if they was brought up in that, then ain't no breaking that.
Yeah, that's not going to get better.
Hey, Jess, I was going to say something. Definitely a surveillance system on your house and some.
Oh, we definitely have that. But
okay, yeah.
But I mean, if someone broke into her car and the police came out and they didn't fingerprint,
But made an excuse to not.
yeah, they made an excuse
upon
not
request
to fingerprint.
too.
Yeah, that's not going to get any better. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how much money we make. We will never, ever be equal to them. Ever.
That's in their eyes. Keep that in mind. It's in
No,
their eyes.
no, it is society. You know, I won't even go there with race because that's a whole different subset, but they will never see us equivalent to them, and they will treat us like that. My brother, he lived in a predominantly white area, and during the time when they were having like all these police shootings, very, very nice neighborhood. He was going to his, you know how like, you know, neighborhoods, they have like those resorts that, you know, they're the community swimming pools or whatever.
They still have sundown town. What is it? Sundown towns?
Oh, in Texas for sure. But what I'm saying,
all over the South.
They have them here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the direction.
I pulled over on a bike the other day in Atlanta, just to let y'all know. Bicycle.
But I'm just saying, just like that's not gonna get better. And I completely understand your frustration with that, but that's not gonna get better.
We pray that it does get better. Okay.
Should that be our ultimate goal? Trying to get them to view us. That's why I love trading, like Jess said, because get your wealth, be able to accumulate it, find out where you can live comfortably and in peace, and not worry about what they think or do. Like if Jess needs to move.
Wait. What happened to the trading?
I'm sorry. What happened?
okay. I didn't mean to make the conversation go all the way left. Yeah. But it's still a very real thing, which gets me back to my point of the beautiful thing about trading is that no matter, you never have to climb up a social ladder. And there are a lot of women on this call, even Caucasian women, like you don't have to worry about men having a gender role. Like it's just so many different things. But of course, if you aren't, certain things you won't feel if you aren't that person. So men not gonna understand how women feel. White people won't understand how Black people feel. I love all people. Let me say that for the record, but not all people love me. So that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I love you. And also, I do want to say, because I have a lot of people in different countries everywhere, it's not the same everywhere. Different countries are completely different. Like I have some beautiful, magnificent, amazing students in London that literally do not have the same mentality as people here in the South of America. It's completely different. But anyway, let's go back. Okay, so perspective. We must learn to handle the negative. We are constantly at war between success and failure. Now, what I meant by this was literally, there will always be an emotion to stop us from what we need to do in our forward progress. I don't feel like doing homework today, or I don't feel like marking up my charts today, or I'm waking up, I don't feel like reading this book today. I don't feel like writing my goals today. I have so many other things I need to do, so I'm just gonna let this one thing slide. But just remember, these small things, how you do small things is ultimately how you do everything. Now, I'm applying that part to life, but in regards to your actual trading, it carries over, because these small things, you could be that person that's literally seeing divergence completely diverge, and you're like, oh, well, I am gonna hurry up and hop in this buy so I could catch it at the very end of this sale diverging. And I know I don't have any confirmations, but I've done this enough times where I know what's gonna happen, and you just hop in for that buy and get completely smacked with a stop loss. Okay. So we are constantly at war between success and failure. There will always be something inside of you that is literally an adversary to the forward progress version of you. You have to hear that person, hear that noise inside of you, and silence it. And every time you feel it, right? Like I've conditioned myself so much to the point where like every time I feel like an ounce of, oh, nah, Jess, you could chill today, or oh, nah, Jess, like I immediately attack it with something else, okay? And then lastly, what are you grateful for? This just changes your perspective in everything. Understanding your gratitude and understanding how things can always be worse than what they are is very, very important, because my next slide, people who are truly happy do not have to do anything in order to be happy. They are happy people that do things. They are happy people that have things. There are certain people that literally trade because they're like, oh, I want this. My life would just be better when I get $1 million. My life would just be better when I have a nice car. My life would be better when I have a nice house, all these different things. But if you don't find that happiness within yourself, like, and then exude that happiness, like your spirit is everything. Like I'm talking about your spirit carries over to your trading. I know this sounds like crazy a little bit, but I truly believe, and it's a fact, you could even study statistics on it, that the happiest people are the most successful people because of the confidence that they exude. And that confidence carries over to you on your charts. That happiness carries over to you on your charts. Do y'all remember when I said, like, why do y'all think half the time I was pregnant, I had Mike and Malik and Omar and Elle and Tony do my calls? The reason being is because when I was pregnant, I was sick as hell. And I wasn't about to let my energy, one, carry over to you guys. But I also knew at that point in time, especially when I was on bed rest, like I was still trading here and there in my pregnancy, but it was never like consistent in regards to, I wasn't trading every single day. I wasn't trading even some weeks. That the time that I was on bed rest, I had literally stopped trading for a month and a half during my pregnancy. So I'm not going to get on here. And y'all know I'm just a real ass person. I'm never going to be teaching if I'm not doing it myself. Like I've never been that person. I'm never going to be that person. I'm not about to walk out through no trades if I'm not taking the trades myself. Everything that I give you guys, I take on my own, and everything that I'm doing, I try to, everything that I'm doing, or everything that I feel, I believe that energy is transferable, and I never want to transfer negative energy to you guys. But the same thing goes for you guys in your trades. If your mindset isn't there, don't place a trade. Don't even approach your markets. Like, it's good to constantly look to see where your price is, but if your emotions are not there in a space where you are going to perform, it's not going to do anything. Like, I didn't have to worry about losing money while I was pregnant, because when I did not feel okay, when I was sick, when I was throwing up, when I was on bed rest, all of these different things, I didn't even attempt to place a trade, because I'm not going to say, hey, I just need some money, I'm going to force this trade, whatever the case may be, knowing that I'm not feeling my best. So when you don't feel your best, your judgment's always clouded. Even think about it in relationship wise, right? As you approach friends or whatever the case may be, like, I know there have been times where, whether you're a parent, you may not have felt your best, your child say one thing, they didn't even mean it, or you just snap on them, you be like, yo, whoa, like, are you cool? Or in a relationship, you can have a partner and you could just be having a bad day, and your partner say one thing and you like low-key snap on them, and it's like they looking at you like, what is wrong with you? That energy is transferable. All right, so always make sure you're in the right mindset, the right mind space to be executing your trades. Okay, because also when you do that, if you constantly do it and you don't feel okay, you're not going to do anything but mess up your psychology. And that's not going to do anything but damage you. All right. Right here, I put a person that moves out of their emotions is a person without government. Emotions is a very, very, very key part to trading. All right. How you feel in general has nothing to do with what you know. So what I mean by that is you can know all of the things you need to do before you get in a trade. Okay. You can know all of the things you know that you need to mark up on Fridays when the market closes. You know that, okay, I don't need to enter this trade until I have my trend line break and retest, whatever the case may be. But how we feel at the time, a lot of people move based off of how they feel, opposed to following. Ultimately, what that means is following your trading plan, just in a roundabout way, but just in a way where it's like more relevant to your life. Because when I say follow a trading plan, a lot of people say follow a trading plan. It was this one guy I know, for instance, he had graduated. This was back when I was teaching one-on-ones and groups. And this guy, I think I told y'all this story before. He sent me a screenshot that he had like won these US 30 trades. And I messaged him, and I think he thought that I was going to be proud of him at the time, but he had just graduated. He was only like 2 weeks out of graduating. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we even talked about this. Why are you trading this? Like, let me ask you that. He's like, I know, Jess, but I just saw the setup, and I know, but I just felt like it was, I felt like I could make the trades, whatever the case may be. And then 2 weeks later, that same person blew their entire account. And I'm just like, well, I mean, wow. I don't know if you want me to have sympathy because I told you so, because I know this process. And it's not that I want anybody, I don't want to keep no money from y'all. Y'all know Miss Barbara trades US 30 avidly, like, but she has the experience to do so. Somebody just getting out of my course, just hopping in US 30 without even understanding regular structure first, or mastering regular structure, or having consistent profits on regular structure, you're literally asking for suicide. But when I say it, I'm telling you, so you know, but you feel, because you've analyzed and all of your analyzations have come to pass and all these different things, you feel like you can do it, right? But then you get humbled. And then that humility then puts you in a spiral of, now I'm scared to place a trade because I don't want to now lose all of my money. Do not go about anything in this course the wrong way, or don't learn the hard way. You don't have to learn the hard way. It's a scripture, actually. It's in Proverbs. What's that scripture? It's something along the lines of implement wisdom. No. something along the lines of don't learn the hard way. I'm gonna find a scripture and then I'm gonna put it in the chat. Okay. But all right, every time you move based on emotions, you cancel out an opportunity. People see what they choose to see until they learn how to counteract it. And people see what they choose to see until they learn to counteract the energy that blocks their awareness to see anything else. So basically what that means is when you're trading, right, you can see, or you can have a setup right in front of your face, but because you just lost the trade, or you missed your setup, or let's say you approach the market and you're like, dang, I missed my entry. You're so stuck on the fact that you missed that entry, or you're so stuck on the fact that you lost that trade, that you don't see all of these other opportunities literally lining up in front of your face. And because of that, ultimately, now you get in just these days where it's like, dang, I missed my trades for the week, or dang, I was waiting on this opportunity. And it's just like, and you're so stuck on this part that you aren't living in your present flow of now. And the now is what's literally presenting opportunities left and right for you to take advantage of. So you have to literally learn how not to get stuck. Okay, so ultimately, like, just expand you guys' minds. Don't constantly choose to see the negative. Look at, just understand that this is an endless flow of money and an endless flow of opportunities that you guys can take advantage of day in and day out. Our prefrontal cortex shall always be in control. I was thinking about this the other day because anytime you're driving, right? People say, and this is actually true, that, and Michael reminded me of it this morning because I was, we passed by, y'all know I got in a car accident right before Legend was born. That's what made me go into labor. And he was like, dang, the statement is true that like most car accidents happen a mile or less away from your house. And it's because you are literally in your subconscious state. Where as opposed to if you're on a highway, think about how many times you drive and you just like really not even thinking about driving. You're just doing it because it's something that's your everyday thing. But the moment a car cuts in front of you, or the moment you're on a highway or something like that, you're more aware and aligned and focused with like what it is that you have to do. That's how trading needs to be. That prefrontal cortex, your defense, your guard, your awareness, your alertness, your everything that you are set out to do should always be in the forefront of your brain. I always talk about trading is just like boxing in the instance, or in the sense of literally the whole goal in boxing is to hit without getting hit. But in order to do that, you have to literally keep your eyes up and keep your hands up and literally focus for when it is that you need to take a punch. In trading, the whole goal is to make money without your money getting got, meaning you need to literally hone in on your entries, but also understand everything, right, that is happening around you, meaning your higher time frames, your zones. Don't be so stuck on your minor structure that you're completely not even looking at the overall structure that's there. Don't be so stuck on the fact that you're looking for this to literally push up that you're not aware of this trend line that's right in front of your face. And the moment it hits the trend line, it bounces off and goes back down. And you're like, but I thought this was going to go up. Like, make sure you are paying attention to everything. Crossing your T's and dotting your I's is key when it comes to trading. And lastly, emotion is the enemy to successful trading. You will not be successful in this if you stick and hold on to your emotions. Okay. The goal of a trader is to make the best trades. The money is secondary. I want you guys to look at trading as a skill set and not a side job, and not a side thing, and not a side hustle, and not a, oh, I'm just about to run up on this money real quick. Okay. Treat trading like it is your life, like it is your career, like it is your job. As entrepreneurs, okay, there will be a point in time where, does anybody own a business on this call? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I do.
In a business, right? You have business expenses. Okay. Now we could say an expense for trading, okay, y'all pay for the course or whatever the case may be, but also your expenses prior to you becoming an extremely and profitable and consistently profitable, successful trader, you will encounter a loss somewhere on your journey. But that loss should not make you fearful. Number one, anytime you ever take a loss, you should never take another trade until you understand why you lost that trade in the first place. That's key and that's king, okay? But also understand that if I lost some money, you live to trade another day, right? But also understand that that's just a business expense to get you where you need it to be. You understand that when I was training for the Olympics and stuff, do you know that like my trainer, in order to get me good, it kind of reminds me of like when I was younger, my dad only wanted us to play basketball. Okay, this is another side story, but it's going to be quick. My dad only wanted us to play basketball. And so he used to make me play against guys at the YMCA, my sister and I, when we were younger. And that's how we got good. And that's how, like, when I was a freshman in high school, that's how I played varsity, because I was so used to like a fast pace compared to everybody else. Now, in boxing, my trainer used to make me spar guys. I know that sounds crazy, but I definitely got every broken nose that I've had was from a dude, not a woman. Okay. Now, I say that to say, in trading, just like I used to get it beat up, which taught me how to fight, you will at some point lose money as part of your honing into the skill set and learning and perfecting this craft, right? Now, the thing is that you should never, again, take another trade without understanding first why you lost the previous trade, but also understanding that everything is compounding. And if you take a minor trade and you lose money, if your trading was comparable to your account size, that trade that you lost should never shift your account. So that goes into managing your money, which is also a very, very key point into this in regards to understanding how to grow your income in this. And we'll get to this some more at the end of this PowerPoint slide. But does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Definitely. Yes.
All right. Catherine has her hand raised. What's your question, sis?
I just wanted to know, will you get a chance to download Monday night's call this week, by the weekend maybe? Will we still get it?
No, yeah, Monday night's call. So what happened with Monday night's call was it has a lag on it, and Michael is trying to fix it for me. You can understand and you can hear it, but I don't know why that like for instance, even when Ben was like on the chart, it's like you'll hear his voice, then the actual screening part is a delay. So Michael was trying to like sync it up to where the actual does that make sense? I don't know why it's like that. Like it recorded improperly. So I was waiting on Michael to kind of fix that before I just dropped it, because it was kind of very annoying when I was when I was watching it back.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
No worries, but y'all definitely get it. I just need him to edit it, and he's been busy. And I actually, Liz reminded me, Liz, when did you text me? 2 days ago? 3 days ago? She texted me 2 days ago.
It was like 2 days
Friday?
ago.
Thursday, Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and he's been busy over the weekend, but he told me he was gonna get it to me. So I promise y'all I had it this week for sure, okay?
Okay.
But look, also, well, we'll go over this last slide, and then I'm gonna save the rest of the psychology call for next week, okay? Or actually, I'm gonna save this slide. Paul, what's your question? And then we're gonna call it a night, and then I'll do the other half for next week.
Yeah. What do you do when your major fibs are completed?
What you mean?
Like on the 4-hour structure, like if you reach TP2, after you reach TP2 and it continues.
So you're negative 61.8, you're looking for a reversal, but when your structure is completed, you're looking for your next setup. So whether that's set up, but you also have to have your confirmations for your setup. So, but once your structure is complete, you're looking for your next. Dominus put in the chat, take your profit and wait for your setup. That's something that I want to talk about real quick, just because that's a big key in psychology also. Just because the market's open doesn't mean you need to trade. Does everybody understand that? We are not chasing money. We're letting the money come to us. So just like we do these analyzations and you guys all have like your Sunday night calls, or not your Sunday night calls, where you guys have your Friday markup analysis, that analysis is set to give you what it is that you want to trade, right? But your confirmation, setting your alerts and stuff like that is how you get in your trades. Okay. So like Dominic said, take your profit and wait on a setup. But the key and most crucial thing is understanding, like, just because the market's open, that doesn't mean that you're trading. You're waiting on your setup. Just like I said, keep your hands up and fire when you have an opening. Same thing in trading. Like, you attack in that spot right when it's there. Okay.
So do you extend it, or the move is complete after the fib is complete?
Well, the move's complete. I've talked about this multiple times. The only fibs I extend are my minor structures, but your higher time frames, the only time that they really extend beyond that structure if it's pulled back to 23.6s, which is our continuations. So like even the GU sell that had been selling for like literally a long ass time, if you go to your structure and you actually like draw it on there, you'll see there were 23.6 continuations. So just make sure your structure is correct.
Because I think I've seen it on GU before, when it's like the fib completed, but the price kept going up and there wasn't like a PRZ level, like pull back for a minute. If you understand what I'm saying.
I understand. So yeah, just wait for your net setup.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Shannon put the proverb scripture that I was talking about. Senseless people learn their lessons the hard way, but the wise are teachable. Thank you, Shannon, so much for finding that, sis. That is the scripture that I was talking about. I appreciate that. But you guys, so I'm going to call it a night for tonight, but we're going to finish our psychology call the next half next week. All right. All right. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a lot of the questions that you guys asked, like literally, I promise you, they have been answered in some way, shape, or form. On whether it is the YouTube calls or also people who are just now joining the course, make sure you go back and watch the previous Monday night calls that have been uploaded in the YouTube. I mean, not the YouTube, in the Facebook group, okay? And I'm gonna tell Michael to have that Monday call. I'm gonna try to get on him to have it by Tuesday at the latest. All right. All right.
Thank you. A real quick question,
you,
Jessica.
Nye.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Someone hit me up with your avatar on Facebook. Do you contact people through Facebook? Because I know you said you do contact students from time to time to kind of spur them on.
No, it's most likely not me.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's most likely not me. You'll know when it's me.
Okay.
I promise.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I hate that though. Fake profiles be stressing me out. I don't even know what to do at this point, but it is what it is.
They have pictures on their profile and everything. It looks like a whole family picture album and everything.
Listen, I have so many fake accounts that have these, and I'm just like over it. So over it. I'm gonna see if I can verify my Facebook too, so y'all know which one it is. But
Just one last thing, anybody that's trying to get in the Facebook group, could you please check your DMs for me, please?
oh yeah, because Liz messages you guys if there's anything that's off before she approves you guys. All right, guys. All right, love you guys.
Thank you very much.